Hello.
Hello.
Hello, everybody there. Can you guys hear us? Is this
Buongiorno.
thing on?
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
on.
All right, so we're ready for episode 2. Thanks to all of those that are already joining us.
Hi,
We
Val.
appreciate it. Let me make sure. Guys, why didn't you tell me I didn't start the shared chat?
Oh, I forgot about that too. Gee
I'm
whiz.
so sorry, everybody. I didn't realize I didn't start the shared chat. I apologize.
There we go. We're sharing now.
Yeah.
This guy.
Our
Sharing
chat.
is caring.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
We put so much trust in this man.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, that was your first problem, okay?
It was.
Come on now. All right, so we have an agenda for tonight. We have to figure out what we're doing for the bet, by the way. But we're going to talk about Race
That's
to
fair.
Worlds first. We're going to have a gentleman's bet for who's going to win. I mean, yes,
Gentlemen's.
that's the whole point, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and then we're going to talk about what everybody really wants to talk about, which is the future of WoW.
Oh, the future.
Yeah, there's a lot to speculate on. I feel like every time there's a new expansion launch, by the way, I'll say this quickly. Everyone's like, okay, but what's the next expansion? You know what I mean? I feel like we're always looking for the next thing, you know? Like when they
Always.
announced that the World Soul Saga, they're like, I wonder what happens after, guys. I'm like, guys, we just found this out. Like to be
Which
fair,
is
I'm one of those people.
Which
so.
is crazy because World Soul Saga was the first 3, consecutive expansion announced ever.
Yeah, it's kind of neato.
So
Never done anything like that before, though, too, as well.
Yeah.
No,
This
it
is
was a
new.
brand new thing.
Yeah. I mean, so far so good, but we'll get into that though. I don't want to spoil
Yeah.
the discussion.
So we're gonna start with Race to Worlds first. Who is
You got no sound on your stream, apparently.
I have no sound. Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
This
Uh-oh.
guy.
Yeah, and I'm the
Love
one
this.
doing the recording. This should be good now.
We put so much trust in this guy.
I'm sorry. Again, I say I'm
Mic
sorry.
check, mic check.
I thought we
thank
did
you
that
for
already.
Yeah, you guys could hear me. I just didn't have it transmitting to the stream. So yeah, that was that's all me, you know. Whatever. Okay, it is what it is. So the podcast is actually going to start right about now. That's when we're
Yeah,
at.
we
yeah,
just
yeah,
started.
yeah, yeah.
We didn't
we
talk
actually
about
just
anything
started.
beforehand. Yeah, so
Chat, we're gonna gaslight you into thinking that the podcast did not start yet. Thoughts about that?
Okay.
I love gaslighting. I love gaslighting my chat.
it's absolutely the best thing to do. I mean, come on now. All right, so back to Race to Worlds first for the first time. This is the first time we're talking about it.
Of course.
Who wants to, go first?
So the question is, do we have the list of everybody that's participating this year?
I haven't seen an entire list.
I mean,
Is that-
it's really like if you think about it, it's only like 3 major guilds that are like contending for first place at this point, you know. Liquid, Echo, and Method.
True. I don't know.
And then everyone else is like fighting for top 10.
I don't know. Insta dollars may do something.
There's also
I know
there's
BDG
also-
stopped. I know Big Dumb
Yeah.
Gaming Guild. I know they dropped out. I think they dropped out. I didn't know if they were doing this tier or not.
there was one
Well-
guild that did drop out.
Oh, which guild dropped out?
I know there was one that was like a top 10 contender. I think it was like a Big Shark Gaming or something. Not Shark. I think I said Shark by accident. My bad. Shark. Is it something like Shark Gaming or something? I don't know. Like there was one that I think disbanded. You know, I think they became too old. Maybe they had to.
So in Liberation of Undermines, the top 10 was Team Liquid, Echo, Method, Hugo Hero. I'm gonna probably pronounce that wrong. Insta Dollars, Synergy, Jatan Hong. I'm really murdering these things.
That's probably a Chinese guild. More than likely.
Yeah, most likely. Fat Sharkies.
That might be it.
a guild called Mate, and then it was a Russian guild called Banhammer.
Nice.
And Hammer.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
By the way, I don't know if you guys know this, but there is a current competition going on for Chinese guilds where if you win like World's First, you get like a prize, and each tier they don't get it, the prize increases. And
Oh, wow.
still has not been achieved yet. So the Chinese guilds are going to start getting hungrier and hungrier, by the way, over the next couple of tiers because that money pool increasing. I don't know how much it goes up and what the conversion is to USD, but it's it'll definitely eventually become a thing where people are just chasing it for that money. So
true.
maybe in a couple tiers though.
But do their
Yeah,
guilds
people-
have personal chefs?
I mean, if
Liquid
they win that
does.
money, they will. Yeah, true though. Yeah, the personal chefs is crazy, by the way, for a WoW guild. Like you could just you could just get a bunch of like hot pockets and monsters and just feed them that and they'll be okay. Honestly, they're gamers. That's what we run off
Yeah.
of, you know.
But
Gamer fuel.
I actually
Yeah.
think, in all honesty, that we'll have, as I'm looking at this list from the last 4, I'll go back to Shadowlands. You had complexity limit, which is technically limit. Echo, liquid, and then liquid again. So Echo's long overdue
Mm-hmm.
for
Mhm.
one. So me being who I am, I may just put my money on Echo because it's overdue. It's been 2 tiers without a win. They're overdue.
They hungry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where I'm at with it. I don't see as good as Liquid is, as good as whatever the limit is calling themselves these days, which we
No,
don't know, of course.
Limit is liquid now.
Oh,
Complexity limit.
So again, what's left outside of a Chinese guild? I think once we actually see the list of everybody who's participating, we'll probably get a better feel of who's going to do what.
My money is on liquid. Okay, I'm an NA fanboy. Okay, USA for life. Okay, I'm always rooting for my fellow red, white, and blue brethren. Okay, it is in my blood, my DNA as an American to root for NA. Okay, now obviously I'm kind of worried though because once you're the champ of 2 tiers, right, you start getting lax with
Complacent.
complacent, right? And Echo's
Mhm.
hungry, right? They're biting at the ankles, right? So I think Max definitely needs to lead the team. By the way, Max is the leader of Liquid, or the raid leader of Liquid. And I think it's going to be Liquid again, though. But I think Liquid just needs to hunker down. And they've had the situation happen to them where they win a tier and they get overconfident and they get absolutely destroyed. I mean, not absolutely destroyed, but they lose the race, right? And if you're not first, you're last. Okay, so go NA, go Liquid, and it's probably going to be again Liquid, Echo, Method. Method slowly rebuilding. I think Method one day will probably make Echo fight for that second place, but for right now, I think it's going to be that tier again.
I
Liquid,
think that
Echo,
method is struggling to hold on to third place, to be honest with you.
True. I mean, there's a lot of as we guys know, some
Younger guilds.
issues.
There's good younger guilds too as well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That are chomping at the bit to make that top 5,
Yeah.
top 5, and
Mhm.
they can do it. I mean,
Yeah.
I
But
think
go ahead. Sorry.
one of the problems that a lot of these smaller guilds that's competing for Race the World First is they don't have the money that
Mhm.
these top 3 or 4 teams have
Mhm.
Yeah.
to fly them out to a place, and they got personal chefs, they got people massaging their hands. They can go. I mean, when I heard that story, I was surprised. I had never heard that before. In all my days of video gaming, you have someone come massage your hands for you? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, honestly,
You
and
know,
there's a huge difference between again being a top 10 guild in World of Warcraft is still very impressive, but there's a difference between being the number 10 guild and being the number 3 guild. Like there's just
yeah,
even
for
in
sure.
that there's just such a skill gap, right? So I don't see any of the other guilds having that skill gap. Because again, think about this. Again, these people they raid, they obviously play a lot of this game, but you can't really make a living off this. Obviously the top guilds are, but like if you're in, I think it's a complexity, right? You have or what's the other guild called? Basically, anyone that's not like the top 3, you have jobs, you have other things that you have to worry about in life, and you can't dedicate, you know,
I
like they
think,
raid like 12 to 14 hours a day for like
yeah.
2 weeks. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, like Instadollars, I think overall has really good skilled players, but they don't even raid near half as much as the top 3 do.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I mean,
That's
like you said in the comments, you know, a PSA 10 versus a PSA 9, there is a big difference, believe it or not. Even though that's one grade when you're collecting cards and stuff like that, which is true, there is a big gap in between those that one number. There's a substantial dollar amount in between that in itself.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I think what's going to happen is, because I know Blizzard put their heart into this, because you know at the end of every expansion, that last dungeon is always some type of masterpiece, no matter how you look at it.
Mhm.
With the exception of, well, no, I think of all the tiers, I might be right on that. That yeah, a Midrasil, that was pretty good.
Yeah, it was.
Gallywix was great. Gallywix was great.
Mhm.
Sepulcher was kind of.
Ugh.
I don't know about that boss. That's another story. But if you look at the last couple, Nyalotha, that last fight was something. So
Yeah.
they tend to put, when they're at the end of an expansion, they tend to put a little bit more heart into it for that last final, that last final boss. And looking at what they did with this, and of course nobody knows, we know it, they never raid tested, it's only tested internally.
Mhm.
I can imagine what kind of tricks they have up their sleeve for this, because
Yeah.
they got something up their sleeve for this raid.
Oh, for
You know
sure.
they do.
And Dimensius is the last boss, as you guys know. This is the biggest boss they've ever made. Like they had to use a scale of Stormwind to compare the size of this boss. Okay, the size of Stormwind. So I'm curious to see how they're going to get the perspective, because obviously, sure, we're in like a third person perspective while playing WoW.
Yep.
But like again, if this guy is larger than Stormwind, right? How am I gonna like? Am I gonna be like? How is this fight gonna look just visually? Like that's what I'm a little bit worried about too.
Okay.
Just kind of go into that.
Well, it kind of
I know.
reminds me more of like Deathwing and stuff, right? Like Deathwing was huge.
Yeah, yeah,
And
true.
like you're
on his
fighting
back.
on body parts and you're
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like you're kind of taking it on bit by bit. But I mean, if they can figure it out, it's gonna be
Well-
wild. Because you look at the zone now, man. The zone is
it's so good. So
it's
good.
just endless top, bottom, left, right. It's just it's so cool. So like even just the perspective of that, it's like it's kind of thrown off a little bit, right? You can put a huge thing in the distance and have it kind of come forward over time, and it get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah. Well, so the funny thing with that picture that you're talking about on Optimize, if you actually take a look at that picture and dig into that picture, you'll notice that near Dimensius's hand is a image of N'Zoth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it like super tiny, right?
N'Zoth is the size of Dimensius's finger. Okay.
That's crazy.
That's another scale like aspect for us right there.
That's crazy.
That's how big Dimensius is that he's
N'Zoth
N'Zoth would be under his thumb.
Yeah, so I'm interested to see, like, not just because again with the world's first race, they'll be the first ones in there. They'll probably dive into heroic at obviously, but and by the way,
they're going to do their splits. They're going to do their splits.
Yeah,
so.
they'll probably doing like maybe some normal splits, but honestly, they'll probably like jump right into, because they're 684 probably max item level from season 2, so they're gonna be probably jump into splits, maybe do some normals just to get some of the tier sets, most likely, right?
Yeah.
But I know right now they're running a bunch of Mythic Zeros trying to get some armor. I saw some of their liquid groups asking for plate wearers to come in and trade items, and they would get gold in return. Like I saw those types of things.
I've seen that
already.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's like if the reserved item drops, we'll just buy you out. That's the rules.
Yeah.
It's like I can see it. I understand why.
Yeah, it's pretty
Well,
cool.
they still get their vault at the end though, so I mean,
Yep.
Yeah.
it still works for them. You know, it benefits the other players, the smaller players too. They're like, hey,
Yeah.
I can't raid with y'all, but hey, I'll run with y'all. If you know, they're looking. I seen a looking for group today where someone said all leather wearers. I'm like, okay. Well, you do. Well, if you think about it though, you do have enough leather wearers where you can mix it up. It's not an all. I've seen an all druid run today on the new dungeon. I was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Y'all have fun with that.
Druids have
no
always
part
just
of
been
it.
the best.
Also,
I
this
mean,
is the first.
Pally's too. Pally's can do it too, though. You know,
Yeah.
they can run it. They can run a whole instance by themselves.
Also, this is the first tier that we are now getting Mythic unlocked on the first week of the raid. By the way, like usually we have to wait a separate whole week after, right? It would be normal heroic launched, and then the next week would be Mythic. Now we're getting everything unleashed, so it's kind of also a new thing for the raiders to deal with too. So maybe that will throw a speed bump or maybe a boon to some of these teams. But
well, because if they're going straight into heroic without knowing without knowing what without knowing what Dimensions is, that's going to be a problem in itself.
Yeah,
they're gonna have some 1% wipes. I know that for sure.
And they'll
even
probably
on heroic, they're going to have some 1% wipes because they're not going to really know exactly what's going on until they get there.
They'll probably have like other people running normals, and then what they'll do is they'll get the Dimensius, swap people in, get the main raiders in, and then get some practice in there. Because obviously no one has practice on this boss, and hopefully we get the first shot of this boss because I want to see it. I want to just take it all in. It's grandeur.
Yeah, I want to see how we're gonna fight him.
Yes,
that's something that big. That's the thing. Something that big, I just don't know.
Yeah.
You know, I just don't know. Like when you say the size of Stormwind, and Stormwind is huge. Let's be clear. Stormwind and Orgrimmar are huge. So if it's just the size of Stormwind alone, I'm like, oh.
That doesn't even talk about its height. You know what I mean? Like
right.
that.
It's just
it's about its length, right? Not the height. And it's like it's crazy to even think again. Like the Zoth being a finger of this boss, like it's nuts. Like the Zoth was like it wasn't a big boss, but it was at the time like a pretty big boss compared. Like the last big boss we had was probably Deathwing that you mentioned, Siege. So it's like. And Deathwing was pretty big, but even compared to Deathwing, it looks like we have it again. This is the largest boss. They said they confirmed it, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna. So someone in your chat, sir, from your chat said we're gonna enter the bloodstream and try to cause a heart attack. The trash mobs are white blood cells.
Are we gonna magic school bus this boss?
Somebody's been watching sales at work.
There we
magic
go.
School bus the boss? That'd be amazing.
That's gonna be awesome.
I would like it.
If
No matter what they do.
Nowhere, it's like, let's get in there. It's like, well, I'm in.
This song starts playing, yeah.
All of a sudden, this Frizzle pops up.
Yeah,
here you go.
I honestly think it's going to be an interesting raid here for sure. I've already been scheming through loot. I already know what weapons I need. Well, the good thing is I don't have to wait long for mine.
Oh yeah, I got my spreadsheet.
My bestest slot is off the first boss, so I'm like, my chances are good.
Yeah, I made my spreadsheet, but I don't remember what it was. I think mine comes from the new dungeon, the Ecodome. Oh, Darny.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's just gonna be Mythic Hell.
Yes, let's talk about that for a minute.
Oh, sure.
That dungeon is it's short. Don't get it wrong. It's a short dungeon. It's not long. But the bosses are mixtures of raid bosses. From the first boss is almost a carbon copy of the worm boss in Sepulcher. If you think about it, I think the one thing that it is because if you think about it,
it's a devourer.
It sits in the middle. It gives the puddles that you got to run and spread out. But the only difference is the mobs come to you. You have to take the mobs away from the worm itself and kill them. If not, you get one-shotted.
Yeah,
not fun.
Yeah, this isn't the first time we've seen devourers too. So
that second boss though, the Warp Hunter, I like the mechanics, but you have to be careful because you have, with him when the lines come out and you don't know what you're doing,
like me,
and you hit somebody with them, they die.
And you don't put it through the boss because he goes immune,
Right.
and then it's like what everyone was like. I think there was like one person who knew what to do, but like for some reason no one was looking at chat. So like for 5 minutes we're like, why is this boss not taking damage?
He just sits there with a shield on him, and the only way you can get the shield off of him, you got to run the void images through him. And nobody. The first time I read it, they're just images. Every which way, the boss is in the middle. There's a reason why he's in the middle.
Yeah, but the last boss though of that dungeon is nice. You have to collect your mirror image and like, it's actually pretty. You move around a lot, which
it's very mechanical,
which is gonna be anti range for sure. But as a warrior,
hunters.
I don't care,
No, it's not. No, it's not. Don't say that. I play survival, so I'm good.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Well, even non-survivor hunters can move and shoot for the most part. They don't have a lot of channeling abilities.
As long as you're not marksman.
Yeah, as long as you're not marksman, you're stuck.
Yeah.
Because everything has you staying still.
Mm-hmm.
So
what do we think is going to be the worst boss in the raid, though? Where do we think people are going to get stuck?
Oh, easy. The Void Council. The hunters. I think that's going to be a problem. That's going to be a problem. That's why it's optional, because they know it's going to cause problems.
Okay.
I didn't think about that. I did not think about that.
I'm just going with the standard.
Why would you put a skip around that boss?
Yeah, there's no real
There's no logic for that.
Yeah, every time anyone's ever first walked into a council fight in a raid, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's always kind of a gong show of like, what do we do?
Console fights give me anxiety.
Do we stack them? How far do they need to be? Like, I still remember the 4 horsemen walking in there and being like, okay, 4 corners, 4 horsemen, got it.
Oh no!
Don't even move until the raid leader says you can move.
I just had flashbacks, my man. I just had flashbacks.
Oh no! The Council of Blood and Council Nathria. Right there.
Oh
God, that was rough.
Find your dance partner.
I honestly I love that.
That's a thing of nightmares though, right there. That took my guild that I was in. It took us about 2 weeks of wipes. Like, we got there and got stuck. And it took us 2 weeks of wipes just to get that boss down. And that was rough. I mean, we had people that didn't know they left from their right, couldn't find their dance partner, couldn't do the 2-step prance forward, sachet right, sachet left. I'm like,
yeah,
oh no, that was hard.
There are moments where, as a grown adult, sometimes when someone says go left, I have to do the things with my hand, I'm like, okay, this is left. Because you have to double check. Sometimes you doubt yourself. We've all been there. No one can say, oh, I've never done the left thing on my hand. No, you've done it. You've done it. Because you want to make sure you're right. And maybe sometimes I go right instead of left, and my favorite thing is like, oh no, your other left. That's the funniest correction you can ever make to someone. Your other left.
Oh man.
And the fact that every time you killed one, a new mechanic came into play, depending on the order that you killed them. They made that fight.
And then their health would regen too, so you can't even do AoE cleave. It's like, ugh.
So that was
I don't like you reminding me of anything in Shadowlands.
So why Shadowlands was that bad for you?
I didn't have a good time, man.
The game in Shadowlands was horrible, but the dungeons and the raids, most of them, especially Cast of Nathria, were good. I liked them.
Yeah.
You say most of them, like, so let's say Sanctum and what else?
Sanctum, Domination, and then we had Sepulchre.
So you hated Sepulchre, basically. That's what
the last one I'd even like. The longest break I ever took from WoW since I started playing in 2006 was 6 months in Shadowlands, and it was during the end of Sanctum of whatever the heck it's called, and then it was I didn't do any raiding in Sepulchre, yeah, whatever.
Sepulchre.
Yeah.
He is a warrior.
He's holding something like.
So you're trying to say, admittedly, he's a warrior. He drops his weapons to check his hands.
Guys, we all know warriors, we're brain dead, but man, sometimes we can do some good DPS, okay? At the execute phase, you're welcome. And it just costs us our IQ, okay?
They don't know left or right, but they know the pointy end. And
Yeah, I know where my execute button is, that's for sure.
I bet you do.
Yeah.
So I was going to say the last boss. Kind of like
Yeah,
One-Armed Bandit was. I think
agree with you.
man, how do you
Tell me the name,
Fractius?
like WoW has like such a
Fractalus?
good way that like challenged me on how I like say anything. Because there's so many like
See, I'm already horrible at pronouncing things, so these weird behind names. Fractalus sounds right.
Yeah, I would say Fractalus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that my personal opinion, I think that's where a lot of people are going to get stuck.
I agree with you 100%. Usually statistically it's the third boss. No matter what it is, it's always the third boss because they always have to, again, they have to make a wall somewhere because you can't have, because Blizzard will overtune encounters, right? Because obviously they don't want this race to only last less than a week. And I think they actually undertuned Undermine because Undermine was actually like compare Muggsy to Galley, and it was a joke, right? I mean, Liquid had like 200 pulls on Galley, and then Muggsy, and then the Galley was like 60. Like that's unheard of for the last boss of a tier, unheard of. So they're gonna overtune this tier. Usually, when you have a shorter, easier tier, the next tier Blizzard overtunes it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see a lot of kills, and I think the third boss is gonna be. I think we're gonna see a wall. I think we're gonna see a lot of walls, but I think the major wall is gonna be the third boss. But honestly, I'm calling it right now. The third boss I forget the name of them because again, I don't remember the bosses. Even I don't even know many of the Undermine bosses. I just know where to go. Okay, um, it's just something that I've never done, and I think the third boss will be a problem too. I think there'll be a lot of walls.
There's a DPS wall somewhere.
Yeah.
So
I don't know where it's at though.
The third boss could either be the Moth or Soulbinder. It depends on which direction you go because you do the Sentinel first, and then you can choose to go to one or the other. Moth is the potential for the second one.
Yeah, I think the Moth is, if I remember correctly, there's a lot of like movement that you have to do, and anytime you have when you have a lot of movement, your DPS suffers, and obviously then a DPS check becomes a problem because obviously then you have to start like, especially when you're doing Mythic at such a low, like at the beginning of a season, you have to basically micromanage where you are every second to get the most DPS out, and then leave the area it'll be crazy actually. So I think that's the one with a lot of movement, if I remember correctly.
I don't know. I'm kind of glancing over Nexus King. He might be that one. He might just be that one.
I think all of them actually.
That's where my weapon comes from, bro. Don't say
that. I'm looking at it.
That's where my best raid weapon comes from is Nexus King, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he might be a problem.
I have to look at my spreadsheet.
They all look pretty difficult, to be honest with you.
I'm excited to actually encounter just about all of these. The Moth might be annoying because it is that you're right. It's just the constant motion, nonstop. Yeah. I don't really mind because I'm a monk and I'm just gonna hug the boss or the tank anyway, whatever.
Yeah.
But they also said that you're going to be using phase shifting during the raid as well for certain.
Yeah.
The first boss is super important because you're gonna have to phase shift through a wall because he's gonna run through a wall. And you have to get through the wall, or if you get hit by the wall, it's an instant death.
Yeah.
Yikes.
So that's why in the post for our guild, I told him, if you don't have your Reishi wrap, you can't raid.
Oh, that's smart.
True. Yeah, it's just impossible actually for you to raid.
Well, you can't raid without it though, because there's going to be other parts in the raid.
It's like a key.
You need to get in the raid. You have to use it during the raid, and you have to use it during bosses during the raid.
As long as you get rank 1, you'll be okay. I mean, technically, you should have rank 3 because we have to know life this game. I mean, come on now. But rank 3 is available, but rank 1 is fine. At least you'll be able to face through the things. So
yeah,
I think that's going to be that. I think Blizzard got it out there. Then the fact that they mentioned also the pre-orders. I don't know when they go online, but what they're trying to do is build more hype, which is smart.
Yeah.
Because and the fact that everybody's getting mad. It's $90 for the Epic Edition. Cool.
Already bought it. Like the minute it comes out, I buy it. Like
when they tell you, they tell you to your face right now, you want to go ahead and get your money up and go ahead and get the $90 edition. That's what you want to do.
This is the only game that I buy the Epic Edition for. I mean,
they're going to do it. People are already mad about video games costing $80, $90 now. I mean, it's an investment. That's how I look at it. WoW is an investment for a lot of us.
It's my life.
I mean, for some it is. For some it is. I can say that. I'm halfway there. I'm kind of in between right now, but I'm almost there. I think when I'm about 60 years old, I'll be able to sit back and say, this is my life now. I'll have nothing else to do.
Yeah, like this is just I peaked in War Within. Like that's what I'll say,
Back in my day.
Back in my day.
Do we want
30th expansion later?
Do we want to do the gentleman's bet, and how are we going to figure that out?
What is the gentleman's bet? What should we do?
Well, we need a wager, We need a something you win, something you lose.
Are we promoting gambling here?
No, we're not.
No, heavens no.
Mm-mm.
We don't do such a thing around here.
Not in such an organized sense. I mean, we can't even figure out a currency right now. What are we talking about?
I mean, we all have gold in World of Warcraft, so let's make it interesting.
Okay.
5K a piece.
Oh, 5K, that's nothing. Hold on. I was thinking, let's go crazy here. Hold on.
I'm still hold on. I'm still $250,000 gold short on raid dues.
Hey, nobody remembered or said anything about that, so you can just write that off.
Yeah, tax write-off.
Exactly. Yeah, it's new fiscal year.
Right. I'm thinking at least 50K.
At least 50K?
50K.
I think I got it. I got 50K. Who don't have 50K in World of Warcraft right now? Well, let me stop. My raid leader does not.
I have someone in my raid that also is like, yo, can I have some money for repairs? I'm like, brother, go go outside. Just go outside and like kill some mobs. They'll drop your repair bill. I swear. Like that's just play the game actually, please. I've never understood that. I mean, maybe they're just trying to get gold from me. I don't know, but every time they're like, I need repair bill. I'm like, you are just crazy. Actually, that's impressive how poor you are.
Oh man. So I end up going poor. After a while, I'll make some money, and then I end up not having any money in WoW. So but I have 50K now to throw in there if we want to make it a 50K bet.
50. The problem is though, is we have 4 people here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 200K total.
Yeah, but we only have like 3 really realistic teams that are gonna be making the world's first, and like, so it's like someone's gonna have to pick one that's not gonna win. That's the problem, unless we both pick the same one.
So
okay, hold on. So we can incentivize the one that has to pick the one that's not one of the obvious. You know what I mean? So if the one, say like I pick Method, if Method actually pulls it out, then there's almost like a additional like, holy crap, the underdog won, and you guys have to pay me more.
So the underdog gets basically, you're saying the underdog is double or nothing.
For real,
is what you're trying to say.
In a weird sense, you know what I mean?
Pause here for a second. Astral is saying in someone's chat that they
said it's in my chat.
Oh, okay, just double checking.
Okay, that's weird because last time it was fine. I didn't change anything.
But there's other.
He probably don't hear you and Siege and Necro because I think he hears me and Optimize.
Yeah, he says the other 2, but it's probably because he can't see Siege talking because Siege doesn't want to show his face.
Oh, okay.
But I just wanted to make sure that I pointed that out because I saw that chat go through. But yeah, I mean, can I pick Liquid? I mean, I feel like I know like most of us are American here, but I feel like I was pretty outspoken about them. I think I was pretty.
You can have them. I already told you where I'm at.
Oh, okay, there we go. I think I'm gonna steal Liquid here because I mean, you got to represent, the top dog.
I'm taking Echo.
But so
I'm kind of torn. So like it doesn't. If we did this almost like a blind throw in and stuff like that, it would just kind of. I'm trying to figure out how that would work, how it would balance out. Because if like two people picked liquid so do they just
They would split.
that
They
pot?
would split.
Yeah,
they
right.
would
So
split the
like
pot.
it doesn't really matter at that point. Like you guys would just be running the risk of like cutting your purse by half or by third or by whatever, right?
Yeah.
So you don't feel too pressured to go one way or the other. You just have to. You guys would both just have to deal with it.
So if that's the case, then I'm going to take liquid with Unoptimized.
USA. Sorry.
Oh,
I wonder what I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with method. Why not?
Wow.
Okay, so now
my
we have
50K at method. So help me, method. If I start this and you shit the bed, you will.
I have
You
some
will
bad
win
news
this.
for you, Siege. They will.
They will win this.
no.
They will win
That's
this.
why I
They
said
will
Echo,
win this.
because I feel like they're overdue. They're just overdue.
I want a full sweep from Liquid. I want a full three tiers. Just what
Ooh.
you know. Just I want to sweep. I want to sweep 3-0.
yeah.
You know?
It's not gonna happen now because
It hasn't done it. And nobody's
It's been
done
a minute
that.
since it's happened. It's been a minute. I don't think we've had a sweep in a good while.
So I'm saying that
The last sweep was never.
Yeah,
I don't think it's
at
ever
that point,
happened.
if Liquid wins this tier, it's no longer called kilometer. It's a mile now. Like it's confirmed. Like we are now replacing kilometers with miles. So get ready for that.
no.
Get ready for it.
Like the whole world would have to convert.
Hey, sucks to suck. I guess I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, no, we've never had a full expansion sweep.
I'm telling you, we're making history. I mean, come on.
So I think we're due for it.
We
I was gonna
might be due for it.
Well, I was gonna go liquid.
Well, I'm playing spoiler for real now. Now I definitely want Echo to win.
Oh, jeez.
I'm literally playing spoiler now because you haven't had it. I mean, you came close in Dragonflight. It went Echo, Liquid, Echo. Shadowlands was complexity limit, Echo. Then Battle for Azeroth was method, pieces, method, limit.
Look at all those methods, hey?
Yeah.
Method. I mean, that was before their collapse of like all the scandals.
They've been rebuilding.
They weren't taking
years.
things seriously. Yeah, they're just rebuilding.
90% of Echo is X method anyway.
So yeah, that you've never had it. It's always been one team that comes in the middle and ruins it for everybody, all the way up to Burning Crusade. It's always been like that.
Yeah, so I'm thinking it would be nice to make some history this tier. Just saying.
We'll see what happens. We shall see.
All right,
next week will be interesting.
Bets are in.
All right.
Somebody write that down.
Yeah,
or
we got a bot.
Or do we all know who was it?
Oh, I know who I instantly. I mean, come on now.
We got it, but I'll make sure I put it in the chat so we can remember.
We'll make a short about it just so everyone's clear about it. You know, there's no takesy backsies.
No changing at the last minute.
We have the receipts, okay, chat.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great.
Also, anyone in chat, as we move on to our next topic, throw out your predictions too. We'd like to hear them as well.
Absolutely. Tell us what you think is going to be the number one.
It's obviously Liquid, right, chat?
Absolutely. I agree with that.
It's going to be method because I had to change my posture to threaten them.
No.
Like I leaned right up. Like it was
posture check,
this is my,
by the way.
You know what?
Friday.
Siege must be right because Method is definitely listening to us right now and hearing that.
Yeah.
I mean, Sko's definitely in here writing down the notes.
Yep.
You know, we're being watched from afar, y'all, just to be clear, you know.
Yeah. Could be Zalatath with her feet.
Hey,
purple feet.
Feet pics.
Can we talk about that before we get? Can we just talk about how like someone at Blizzard is in defeat because like every cinematic
starts on her feet, doesn't it?
Yeah, like her feet go into the frame, and it's like
that's how you know it's her.
Oh
We
yeah,
know she's
yeah.
we know she's floating. Let's be clear. We know she's floating, and the first thing you always see is the upskirt shot where it goes to her feet, then it comes up.
Guys, I swear we just have some freaks at the cinematic team at Blizzard. Okay,
It
some absolute
seems like it.
freaks. Yeah.
But it's good though. I mean, not often do we have a polarizing character like her.
Yeah.
If you did any of you do the lore walking thing with her to see
Yeah.
how she became who she was? That's an interesting story.
I love that. It gave so much more context, you know. I love
If
it.
if you didn't do that, I suggest you do it.
Yeah, you
I'm
also
gonna have
get
to
a
go do
nice
it.
cool little
You're just the Arthas one was great because that was crazy.
Yeah, I did the Arthas
Yeah.
one.
The Arthas
Yeah.
one was good.
I love the you get toys after it too, so it's,
Yeah, you
it's
do.
worth
Yeah,
it
you
too. Collect some stuff.
But hers and you got Locust Walker, his is there too.
Yeah.
So they really gave you a lot of background going into 11.2. If
And-
you did them, you understand like how this story plays out to a certain extent.
Yeah, because you have to remember too, some people just started playing in Dragonflight, right? So some of these bigger overarching stories, and this actually kind of goes into what our next topic is, because World of Warcraft has this weird big problem of this giant continuation of story since 2004 that some people have no idea 90% of it, right? So there's that.
So before we get really into the future of WoW, I just want to take a second to say that WoW kind of cheaped out on us with this new delve.
Okay,
I really
let's talk
feel
about it.
cheated with this new
Before
delve.
the show started, guys, by the way, he like Necro was like visibly upset about this, so we'll need to hear this.
He was shaking.
So
seething.
the new delve is just Azure Vaults.
Yeah,
That's all it is.
Recycle content.
No. This is good. This is good. Actually, no. I'm gonna make a big thing about recycled content. Recycled content is good because I wish they did pick another expansion to use this content in, like, because Dragonflight's relatively new-ish, right, in the memory, right? So, but like, I love going back to older content, right? Like, for example, when you had the Zoth visions, we would go to either the in Pandaland, and then you also had Oldham, right?
Oldham, yeah.
Because it continues the stories of these new zones, of these older zones, excuse me, right? So like, but with Azure Vaults, I wish they explained it a little bit different. Like, I can see why we're there in a sense, because it's really not that explained. But to go back into an older space with it being changed up, and because again, there's a lot of changes to this.
Is it?
Yeah,
it really is.
So it kind of expands the story of, like, now it's not just a sitting piece of like of content that's just forgotten about, right? Unless you do time walking. It's now, here's the story of it before, and now we have an advanced story. So I kind of like that type of stuff, right? But I do wish they did describe on why we're actually there, and like why the ethereals are in the Azure Vaults. Maybe they did, maybe I missed it, maybe I should read more, but
did all the quest lines going up to it, didn't hear anything. Like, I've done all of the quests that are out there. To try to get, because I wanted to get rank 5 to unlock the new health potions so I could make them.
Yeah.
So, but it just didn't explain it. And like, I jump into the delve and I'm like, okay, this is interesting. Oh wait, why are we back here? This
There's
makes
something in that delve. That's what it was.
Sense.
Yeah, but I think
has to be something there, and they just never tell you what you're looking for or what they were looking for.
Yeah. Blizzard definitely has a terrible time of describing things, of like explaining why things are happening.
It made it feel a little cheated.
Yeah, I think that's a problem with the delve system in general. Like, I love the delve system. I think it's a great, starter of a third piece of end content. I think they need to expand it, like, mechanically wise and like gear wise, but they also need to like also figure out the stories. Like, 'cause obviously right now they take part in like the zones. They have like these sub stories that changes every day. That's pretty cool, but they seem pretty random, and they also just kind of have no real connection to things. And I think they need to integrate the stories more in delves, in my opinion. I think that's
I was kind of even when I first did the delves, I was just like, oh, it's just one level. Like you think of the word delve, right? Like it almost implies like deeper, right? Like you're delving deeper into something, right? So like I was kind of expecting like a level 2 or a level 3 or like something like that. Like you're delving, you're going down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
So I was expecting like multiple levels to this, not just like you said, there is the story, the lines that change, and yeah, that kind of freshens it up a little bit. You get your achievements from it, and blah 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 blah. But it would be nice if you know, like you could actually like go down to the second tier, and like you could choose to do that, and if you did, then your increased rewards, blah 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 blah.
Well, see, we do have to remember Delves is an experiment.
True.
Because this is all new. This is new stuff that they bring it out. So I can guarantee you with Midnight, there's going to be changes. I don't know what kind, but there are going to be some changes, maybe some quality of life changes, maybe even, you know, deepening what a delve really is. I mean, they made it because the reason they made it because everybody doesn't want to do raids, everybody doesn't want to do dungeons. They just want to do something they can do, get some decent gear, and keep it moving. So that's the reason why we have a lot of this extra content we have as well. That's why this patch cadence doesn't seem as bad as it did back in Dragonflight or Shadowlands, because they made sure, because once somebody finishes a raid tier, they're done, they'll come back, they're through raid logging. But now you've added these little things in between delves and the daily events, you know, the extra factions that they add in to keep you playing. Because again, a grind is about a chase. And if you don't have nothing to chase, you're not grinding anything at all. You have people that grind out delves. They're ready to get to tier 11, tier 12. You know, so
yeah, we know one of them.
Unoptimized.
So I think I
just wanted to do it. So I'm just saying.
Like he has that need and that urge to dive deeper into
got that dog in me, yeah.
That's okay though. So I mean, that's why I say delves are hit or miss at times. This one for me, I kind of like the mechanic that they have in there with the phase shifting, not necessarily phase shifting, but
that's true. My wife makes a good point, Steve.
That's why I stopped. I stopped right there because I read that too.
AI.
They haven't found me a body yet. They're working on it.
So it's like when you see it, it's there. Like you got the little spin that you can go through stuff, and it's different little things that they tweaked. Even though we know it is Azure Vaults, they did enough to make it seem a little bit different.
So if you didn't play Dragonflight, it would mean nothing. It would be a cool little area. My biggest issue is that they recycle something and they don't explain why we're there.
See, that's the problem. I think, again, I love recycled content if they obviously add something new, but they have to explain themselves a lot better. And I think Blizzard has this problem where they just like, oh guys, look at there's this zone or this dungeon from past. This is amazing. I mean, I think at the beginning of Dragonflight, remember Uldaman? It got like a new dungeon inside of it and expanded the storyline. They did that one perfectly because again, it expanded the storyline. It was talking about all this different stuff and it made sense of why we were there and all that stuff. Perfect.
And it told us why we were there.
Yeah, but I think that's just a problem with the delve. I don't think it's a problem with just this delve. I think it's a problem with the whole delve system. It's like, hey, do this delve because it's an end game system now. Go. And it's like, okay, well, why am I here? Oh, it's because 5 people need to be rescued. Well, why do they need to be rescued? Mushrooms. It's like, okay.
Actually, I understand that, but it's also their system is saying basically, Brand said there's treasure down there. Let's go get it. That's really that's what it is, to be honest. Yeah. He says there's treasure down there. Y'all should go get it. That's what it is.
I think they just need more connections. That's all. I think, and then I think Necro's main problem with it would probably go away is just have that connection of why am I back in Azul vaults? It's cool to go back to it, right? It's been it's been about 1.5, 2 years, right, since I've been there, and it's been cool, it's been fun, but why are the ethereals here? I mean, obviously I know this is a giant vault of magical things. I can probably piece it together, but can't you just tell me that? Story designers that make a lot of money to do that?
Please help me.
I get the whole thing with the delves in general. it's a dungeon dive. It's a, hey, we're going back to the, hey, we're looking for treasure and this is where we're going. I get that.
Yeah.
But most of the delves, like especially the delves in like the main area, are relatively well explained of, hey, why they're here, why these are these things type thing. The ones that came a little bit later, not so much, like the delve and undermine is not as well explained, but this one has like no information about it.
Yeah.
I got to do some research on that and see exactly what we're missing, because we got to be missing something. I just feel like there's something missing that we're not getting.
I'm currently doing all the side quests in
fit.
Koresh right now, and so far nothing. I mean, to be fair, I haven't been reading them, so maybe I'm the problem. I don't know.
Maybe
warrior. Just send it out a warrior.
You are a warrior
like,
through
I killed
and through.
everything.
Yeah.
There's nothing out there.
Listen, the guy told me to murder 17 people. I murdered 17 people. He gave me 10 gold. That's a win for me. You know, like I'm a murder hobo. Yeah.
Warrior walks out, big pointy stick. Me hit you now, and
Yeah,
that's it. Don't care about nothing else.
That guy down the road. Yeah, that guy down the road is gonna give you a cool piece of transmog to murder you. Sorry, buddy. Like, do you have anything to offer me? Counter me? Like, do you have transmog for me? Like.
So, hey, peek and sneak. I don't think I have that command in the chat, but I will look into setting it up. Just, you know, as an FYI.
And Val said they just spin a big wheel and do whatever it lands on. I mean, sometimes it feels like that.
It does feel like that. It
does.
Yeah.
It works.
Everything on the wheel is connected. You can kind of spin that. You can kind of, you know.
The only time that never worked was in Shadowlands.
Every time I hear Shadowlands, it's like
I just
shiver.
I'm so happy that I didn't play it. Yeah, I just was not.
No, don't say that, because hey, that was. I'm gonna say this. That was the Dark Ages. Let's just call it what it was. It was the Dark Ages.
Most lore-breaking expansion in history. Okay.
To be fair,
they had to rewrite stuff for that.
Yes.
To be fair, though, Shadowlands made Dragonflight seem like the best thing ever. I love Dragonflight so much. Like I remember, like, there was people who just joined in Dragonflight or skipped Shadowlands and like, oh, Dragonflight was okay. I'm like, it was the best expansion ever. It's because I was dealing with Shadowlands for 2 years. That's why. Because I was like, oh, there's content. Yay!
There was
like I was just
nothing to do in Shadowlands.
Yeah.
And that was the lesson that they learned too, as well, because now we have too much to do.
That's actually true.
Let some people say,
thank you.
This is true.
That's the thing.
Like,
you can't
like
keep
doing
up with
quests on a good day. You have to force me to do quests just to get this cloak and stuff, right? Like and then you hit map and you're looking around. You're like, holy Moses, I'm missing so much stuff.
It's not even that. Let's look at right now. Before 11.2 came out, you have your dells you have to do every week. You have the theater troupe you have to do every week. You have the scratch and sniff thing that you have to do every week. You have the mechanic thing that you have to do every week. You have the lighting of the torches that you have to do every week. The spy thing that you have to do down in Ashka Head. I'm like, okay, something's not going to get done this week. Yeah. I'm just going to call it what it is. Then they want to turn around. Oh yeah, Dastardly Duos that came out. It's like, wait a minute, Horrific Visions turned around and came out. Now you got your overdrive where you got to go clear raids every week. It's like they instead of them pulling back, they give you too much, and now people are complaining that we don't have enough time in the day to do everything.
I think that's okay. I think honestly, at the end of the day, because I complain about like a lot of content too, but at the end of the day, if like, I think it's good because I'd rather have too much content than I would have to cherry pick what I'm doing versus no content at all, because then I'm not playing the game. So like, it's like a double-edged sword. It's like either, you know, Blizzard gives us not a lot of content and then they overcompensate and give us a ton of content. But honestly, I think Legion and Battle for Azeroth did unrepairable damage to the psyche of the WoW player, because back in Legion and BFA, we had very much the borrow power system where we were just like, okay, you have to do this, that to get the Azerite power to then, get the Heart of Azeroth up so I can then do better in the raid, blah, 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 do this mechanic, blah, blah, blah. And now we don't have those types of systems, and we're still thinking we have to do everything so we can stay in the know. But technically, delves after the first like 3 weeks of you raiding and doing Mythic Pluses don't give you any gear. And obviously you should probably do 3 tier 11 delves each week for the gilded, but we just still do 8 delves because we're conditioned to thinking that's what we need to do. And I think the player psyche has been somewhat broken since Battle for Azeroth too.
Just a little bit. What I would say is that if they would lessen the amount of things at the beginning of a season and then slow down and then slowly release stuff as the season gets closer to an end, like extra things to do to keep that lull between seasons to be a little bit less, would probably work out better.
Yeah, I think when if you look at at the end of Dragonflight, not just the seasons in general, but the end of season 4, right? Or it was season 4, they had that remix, the Panda remix, right?
Yeah.
And I think you're still playing WoW, but you're doing other content, right? And I think eventually we'll probably get into this cycle where at the end of each tier, each season, we'll have a new game mode out, right? Probably because again, they're making new game modes, right? They're making that horror-esque one in Duskwood, right? That hopefully
that one
will
looks like
be
it's gonna
shown.
be fun.
So I think I'm hoping, because obviously at the end of each season, no one's gonna want to do mythics anymore. You're probably geared out. You're just kind of just what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of just kind of burnt out from doing all that content. And then it's like, oh hey, we have a new remix here, or well, we have a new classic launch, or we have Plunderstorm coming out, or we have this new horror thing that's coming out, or Dastardly Duos, or we have this leveling event. And it's like, yeah, if you look at all, it's just a lot of content, but it's like, okay, I'm already kind of over doing mythics. Let's just do Dastardly Duos for a couple of days. And I think that's kind of a good thing.
So, why don't we move it on into the future of WoW, where we think it's going?
Wow.
I don't know. I don't know where to start on this. I feel like can I start? Because I want to rant about something that I've been wanting for 15 years. Okay.
Get it.
Yeah. So remember, so in 2010, Cataclysm came out, right? In the opening cinematic, we saw Deathwing absolutely tear Azeroth apart, right? We had a lot of destruction, right? And my favorite one is the one that's looking over the the big giant dam inside of near Ironforge. What zone is that in? I totally forget.
The wetlands, that area.
Yeah, it's looking over the wetlands. Right? So he absolutely demolishes that dam, just absolutely demolishes it, skill issue, right? And the problem is though, is that now that's 15 years ago, right? I mean, wait, 10 years ago, no, 15 years, right? Yeah.
Roughly.
Yeah, you were right, and then you were sad that you were right.
Yeah. And that dam's still destroyed and not been touched. And there's instances around Azeroth that are just stuck in time where this is destroyed or this is not moving. This quest line's stuck for 20 years, right? There's been no changes to it. And the biggest revamp we've ever seen to this type of system was in Cataclysm. So what I want to see from the future of WoW is returning to older zones, not just for a patch, but actually seeing changes, right? So every week or every month we have some sort of, it can not even just be any major changes. I just want to see, okay, I finished this quest in this zone. I was helping them get rid of their wolf problem. Eventually I want to see less wolves in that area. I want to see civilization kind of going into the woods again, because now there's no wolves to attack the villagers, right? I want to see the world breathing and living. I know this is asking
living world.
Yeah, our world is so stagnant, and I know this is asking for a huge development team to be added on, and for a lot of things to be added on, for really no major lore other than just have a living and breathing world. I'm sick of seeing that dam being destroyed. I'm sick of seeing the town in wetlands, right? The Swamp of Sorrows is still flooded. They still have sandbags protecting their house. Wouldn't you have thought they might have made some more temporary structures to like deal with that? No, they're still sitting in filth and just waiting for someone to magically help them. And it's like, get a job, and it just I would love to see an expansion of just smaller content updates just for older zones too, like a revamp for those zones. That's my rant because again, I think we live in a stagnant world that only cares about the current patch.
Yeah, the current patch or the current retelling of exactly what we're doing now, like just going through all of the expansions in chronological order, right? Like that's just what the other WoW is right now.
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with it. It was fun.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I think we need another. I hate to say it. I think we need another break the world event.
I mean, the Void is going to give us the best option.
That's going to give us the break the world event.
Yeah.
That's it.
I don't know if it's going to give us the break the world event like the last Titan will give us the break the world event.
Honestly, like I'm hoping for a time skip after the last Titan, not gonna lie, because imagine this, right? Say for example, the last Titan, right? We do whatever we do, right? Maybe we fight the Titans, maybe they're bad boys, right? And they punish us by setting us into some sort of giant sleep, right? And basically for like 200 to like maybe 1,000 years we slumber, and then all of a sudden we're woken up, right? And obviously we have all our memories, but Azeroth is totally different. Like obviously things have changed, and now like us as the heroes are all just legends. Some people don't even believe in us. Some say it's like this tale to make people think that there's some greater importance things, and some people might worship us, right? Because we're they think we're saviors of the world, and then we come back into this new world to rediscover it, and then that would be cool, right? I love time skips.
So I could see that absolutely happening. That was kind of where I thought things were going. Is like the last Titan, the world soul becomes a Titan, which would just fracture Azeroth, basically destroying it, and the last Titan rebuilds it and takes all of the heroes and kind of like sets them to the side, and something else comes along later on down the road, 1,000, 2,000 years later, of now there's this new evil, and we need some of the heroes that were of a legend to come back.
Yeah, I think that's like in the last Titan. I honestly think we fight the Titans, because honestly, again, we know we have a Titan inside of our world soul, but we have to understand, like when a chicken hatches from an egg, what happens to the egg after the chicken hatches?
Cracks.
Oh,
it cracks and then it's discarded. Our Azeroth is that shell, guys. Like if our Titan is actually born, we're dead. The Titans are only using us because we're protecting the Titan. I bet you like $100 that when we come back, when the Titans come back, they're like, oh, thanks for helping us, defend against the Void, but now we're gonna kill you for the Titan. Bye bye. And we're gonna be like, wait a minute, that's not cool.
But we've been warned. We've been warned one time before already. And you know who we were warned by?
The Primalists?
No. The Primalists, but the main Primalists that got away.
So Iridikron. Yeah, yep.
And what was his words? You'll see me when the Titans come back.
Yep. Yeah.
So we know we're not seeing him in Midnight. That's automatic.
Yeah.
So
maybe some hints are there, but
I think Midnight is going to end with Xal'atath taking Dimensius's power when we defeat him.
So like after the raid,
after the final fight with Dimensius, she's going to take his power using the heart and use it to empower herself to fight against the Titans. And we're going to end up on the wrong side of history, basically, and we're going to fight with the Titans against her and Iridikron. And then after it comes to an end, Azeroth is going to hatch, and that's when, it goes from that point on. That's when WoW 2 comes out.
Yeah, like I just want something major to happen. Like in every expansion, we're like, "Hey guys, we have this great giant power. Oh no, are we going to defeat them? Yeah, we did. We did it with the power of friendship." And it's like, And it's just like
Okay.
it's just so annoying because I'm like, I want to just like lose once. You know, this sounds weird, but I want to lose. I want to like absolutely get dogged on. Like I just want to absolutely just lose. Like I want like at the end of the last Titan, the Titans are like, oh sorry guys, your world gone, and like I just see it get ripped apart, and I'm like, what do I do? Like what just
I'm trying to
happened?
think. Did we ever lose?
We
We
lost
lost some.
ish.
We lost
We
some.
lost
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
ish.
We lost somewhere.
I'm
I
trying
just
to
don't
We
remember.
remember.
lost ish. We lost the King and Legion. We lost
But that's just the
Anduin and
No, we're talking about like at the end
Shadowlands.
of a raid where we did
yeah,
actually.
like I'm
Castle in Shadowlands. The second raid. We did because remember he takes
Sanctum of Domination.
Sanctum of Domination. We did lose.
We did actually because he gained more power because what we did.
Right.
But that
We
wasn't
did
like.
lose that.
But the
No,
problem is though
that was an L. That was a loss because that was Anduin got him out of there before we could get to him. So we did lose that.
Yeah, but
Because Anduin was turned.
We lost and then we won. You know what I mean? Like I want like a boss like it's the last tier, and like basically like obviously in this tier it won't work. But like say for example, like the best example would be like Dimensius, right? We fight Dimensius and all of a sudden it's like, oh, we're gonna defeat Dimensius, and Dimensius like tee hee, no you're not, and then just absolutely just wipes the floor, and then like that's the encounter. Like he doesn't die, he just goes into Azeroth and it's like, I'm gonna eat your world now, bye bye. And like Azoth is like, I still have, I mean not Azoth, Azalta's like, my feet are still purple, and like I don't know what to do.
So I could see them being like, oh, hey guys, by the way, you all lose, and next expansion we're starting off at level 1 with everybody.
No,
Get to keep your same
actually,
character.
You know what? You know
and
what?
Start
you know
at
what?
level 1.
You know what? That's good because that leads into one of the biggest changes I want to see. It really, if there's something like that happen, we start at level 1. We need to make some class changes, and the biggest class change you can make is turning survival into a tank spec.
Survival into a tank. Tank hunters.
Look at her face.
I don't disagree with it, but I don't know if I agree with it either.
Why?
I can't.
I can tell you how it works.
Honestly,
I can tell you how it works. I done mapped out abilities. I done mapped out a class tree. I done mapped out a name.
He's already in.
I'm sold. I mean,
I can see it.
I want to ship it to Blizzard.
I went pretty
I'm not
hard
against
too.
it. Yeah, I'm not against it. I'm just kind of like.
I mean,
I'm just
prime
like creature
example.
habit. Yeah.
I literally have a literal class tree I had help making, of course, but there are things that you can do where you could make you and your pet are one. Basically, he tanks, you tank. He takes damage, you negate the damage. You take damage, he negates the damage. It's so many different things you can do with this. I mean, I came up with different abilities. Let me see.
We should have a future podcast just talking about potential new classes to the game. Just saying.
It's kind of where I was leaning more. I wasn't a class, but I was leaning more like that too. I wanted to see a major change, like in the fundamental of like you start the game up and then boom, there's a change.
Yeah,
like I'll give you one. I'll give you one of the capstones that I came up with. If you're two of them actually, if your pet dies, you take 50% less damage for 6 seconds. If you die, your pet sacrifices itself to revive you at 30 HP, 30% HP.
It's fair to a cheat deaths kind of thing.
Let's see what else I got. It's called Apex Predator. Merge instincts for 12 seconds, 15% more damage, 10% spell reflect damage, heals to your pet, heals you for 50%. I'm not dying.
It's like Beast Mastery, but like more like a tank, like
yeah,
exactly, yeah.
Okay,
I mean, I could see that from survival. I could definitely see them doing that.
I mean, it's
I
in
would
the name,
like to
right?
see some. I would like to see some reworks to some of the classes. I mean, especially those that have like 3 damaging specs. You know, maybe do something a little bit different. I think that they touched a base with augmented invokers, like an enhancement type class. I think that they could use in some of the 3 damage specs. They could use something like that. Like, could you imagine a mage that was like an enhancement buff type thing?
I mean, we kind of saw that some of this stuff happen with Season Discovery, kind of like reimagining the classes and like the combinations. Also, did we lose Siege? Siege, are you still here?
Siege.
I'm here. My thing is going weird though.
Yeah, you got kicked out of
people
the.
are sounding like robots. Yeah, what's going on here?
He is in the Discord, but he is not in the stream together.
Can you hear me?
Anymore.
Yeah, okay.
Well, at least we can still hear you. I mean,
can
that's
you
good.
hear me though?
Yeah,
yeah, I can hear you. I just can't see you in the stream together. So I'm gonna send you another invite just so we can get your picture back on the board. But at least everybody else can still hear you.
Yeah, could be worse.
Could be worse.
Could be worse.
There's still like little staggers of robotics that I can hear, so I'll figure it out.
Oh, you're back. He's back now.
But
yeah, I worked out levels. I mean, I'll send you the picture of the tree that I came up with later, and you'll be like, oh yeah, he really put some work into this. Like,
yeah,
I truly believe in it. I mean, it's
I can see it.
Yeah. I think we need more of that, honestly. Like, again, like the thing about just WoW 2, like again, like WoW 2 is such a buzzword, and like
it is.
Like, do I see them doing like a full like making a new game? Probably not. But like, it would be kind of cool to just say, hey guys, you know, things just happen. You're now level 1. Because I mean, they've already reset our levels. They've already done a stat squish. They've already done level squishes, right? And I guess that's another problem with how maybe every MMO has this problem. I only play World of Warcraft, right? But in World of Warcraft,
all of them have it.
Yeah, like obviously we've already done a level squish, and technically we can keep doing level squishes to the point where, you know, whatever, it can keep happening. But if you look at like, you know, when they add new zones to the map, right? If you look at the world map currently, it's a cluster of just islands everywhere. Like, how long can we do this?
That have randomly appeared.
Yeah, like
randomly appeared.
Like, how long are we gonna? Like, I think Midnight actually might be solving some of this problem, because in Midnight, as you guys know, we're returning to the area up north in Eastern Kingdoms, right? You have the Ghostlands, you have the Silver Moon City. They're getting revamped, so I think this might be the first expansion where we're not going to get 4 new zones at the start. We might get 1 new zones with Quel'Thalas, right? That new zone, like that weird zone to the left of Ghostlands and north of Strathholm, and then the 3 just revamped the zones, right? Honestly, I'm for that.
You think it's just going to be 3 zones?
I don't know. I mean, obviously, we're going to get at least maybe 2 revamped zones, but like, the problem is though, is that if we have new zones, is it going to be like weird not to explore new zones? But like, where do we stop adding stuff to the map? Yeah,
I don't know, because I mean, here's the other thing about that. Everybody says Azeroth is flat. What if this is just one side of Azeroth that we get to see, and there's a whole other side on the other side of the map?
I think that
we don't
would be
know.
perfect, and it just turn the world map into like a globe where you turn it, right? I would love that again. But then eventually, though, we would run into the problem with that side would become an island, you know, just paradise. So I think honestly, the best option would be just straight up like destroying the world in the sense of like, you know, like a
so just mutually assured destruction is basically.
So hear me out on this one, okay? Mm-hmm. Last Titan, World Soul is a Titan. Okay. Titan hatches, the world breaks, the world's recreated. But what if they tied all of our abilities and stuff to the power that the World Soul was pushing out? And that's the reason we reset. It's because the World Soul is no longer there.
Gone and we don't have those powers.
Right.
Yes, that's good.
And also, they could do like a whole like revamp.
So what would be the purpose of player housing if we're just going to destroy the world? You waited You waited 20-something years to give us player housing, and now you're going to destroy our houses afterwards?
That's actually probably one of the biggest counter arguments to the whole reset thing, because obviously this housing stuff, they're saying, hey, it's going to be permanent, and if we're going to destroy the world, hey guys, your house is gone. Like you like.
Took me 20 years to get this house, and now all of a sudden it's gone in 3?
That's actually a really good point, honestly, because do you think they're going to actually do this? They're probably not. Like, honestly, let's be realistic for a second. You know what's probably going to happen, guys? After the last Titan, they're going to find out, oh, we defeat the Titans because we have friendship. We use some sort of cool thing with friendship beams, and we killed the Titans. We're literally Titan gods now. Wow. By the way, let's go into this other zone where there's, like, I don't know, some big bad boy over there. Wow, look at there, and then we just keep going.
I've been trying to read the astronomical map that they have that lists all the different void, like, order, and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. That's too confusing as it is already, too, to be clear.
Yeah.
And if we're just dealing with the void right now, right, and they're talking about there's still light and order and all these other things that's going on out there, I think we still got a lot of stuff that's going to happen.
Yeah.
So
I'm just worried
Siege again.
Yeah, no, it's just on that. Just hold on. I'm trying to see if I can do it on the second that I go to Chrome, it just glitches out my computer for some reason. So
that's weird. But I think honestly, like, I'm worried about because like I'm always a big fan of just keeping all the World of Warcraft content on Azeroth. I want to stay on Azeroth, right? So when I heard that 11.2 was on Koresh, I was kind of bummed out. But honestly, it's pretty cool to see the world of Koresh. I think it would only make sense to go back to the planet that Dominicius, was originally there for, and him being rebirthed there, whatever. But like, if future expansions are just off-world, right? I would actually kind of be bummed out about it because, again, leaving Azeroth and then, again, the stagnation of the world, I just feel like we're abandoning the place that we fell in love with when we go off-world. Right. I think, I'm going to say this right now, guys. Ready for it? You want to hear a controversial statement? I think Outland being our first expansion was the biggest mistake that they've made. The Burning Crusade should not have been our first expansion. It should have been Lich King.
Why?
That's a good take. I actually like that.
I do like that too.
Oh.
But I will.
I'm not in disagreement. I'm just kind of like.
It's controversial. I don't like going off world. Like Warlords of Draenor, right? I didn't like it going off world. Like any like most of my major expansions that I love have all been like dormant here in Azeroth.
I have a counter to your whole housing being the thing that makes it where they can't destroy the world. If all the following expansions are off world, what's the point in having your house on world?
Oh no!
Oh man!
No. Well, okay.
Saying.
Since you want to take it off world, right? Let's just say Last Titan. Everything happens the way you says it happens, and instead of the world being destroyed, some way, they save the planet. That the world does not get destroyed when Azeroth is born. Okay, and as Azeroth is born, all of a sudden we see these meteors fall down from the sky, and they're Zerg from StarCraft. Now we're dealing with this.
I've seen that theory of like the two world, like the two.
Oh yeah.
And I've seen that theory, and I'm like, oh.
You have to think about it. You got to think about it. These ethereal creatures have been around, so do they not remind you of the Protoss from StarCraft to a certain extent? Because they have all this different technology, and I'm just throwing it out there.
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to. Because sometimes that theory makes too much sense. I'm like, no, don't do it.
It's right there in front of you. It's right there in front of your face.
Or even still, the last Titan destroys the world, but then puts it back together, and your house is still there, and we get reset, and you start as,
How is your house going to be there still?
Khadgar is like, hey, guys, I saved your house, but nothing else. My bad.
Woo, there it is. There's your house, just the way you left it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, we're a byproduct. He wanted to keep all the houses, but he didn't keep them. He didn't want to clean them.
Well, either that or it could be the introduction of the housing system, and we, get
that would have been my argument later. Is that the housing is going to come after the whole nom nom.
Yeah. Like
no, housing is coming next year. Let's be clear. We know that.
Yeah, the leak of the prices for the thing, inside the prices, there's a thing called housing early access. So we'll be getting it probably during pre-patch, not gonna lie. But honestly, Blizzard has done things where mechanically they make sense for the players, but in lore-wise, they don't connect because, like, for example, the biggest example of this is the portals, right? In BFA, was it BFA? Where we went to the Queen of Shar's zone where it was like, they took the water out, right? The underwater area, right?
Yeah, I remember.
We had portals.
But was it really underwater though?
Yeah, but they had portals there that we could go back and forth to the main hubs, right? In the lore, though, these portals did not exist. We were down there for like months, just trapped there, and basically we had to kill her and take over to then escape, right? So they've done things where in the lore they don't exist, but for mechanics and for player accessibility they have done. So technically they could destroy the world, but they're like, hey guys, your houses are still here, it doesn't really make sense, whatever, just fucking build your houses, and then the world's destroyed. Though it doesn't make sense, but it's just for you. And they've done that before, not on that scale, but they've done it before.
I just, you're not finna have me invest all my time in all these raids, because remember, there are items in the player housing that's tied to raids, dungeons, delves, and every outdoor activity you can name. Not to mention that people are going to be able to craft things for your house as well. Your professions is all kind of. No, that's too much work for you to destroy something I just built.
Yeah, and honestly, I think again, World of Warcraft can always solve the stat issues where they can squish it. They can always squish the levels again. Like, sure, it's just putting a bandage on an open wound, I think, but they could always do it. But the problem they can never solve is adding more to our map, obviously without going onto the other side of Azeroth, right? So
you believe that there's another side of Azeroth?
There has to be, because there's no amount of think of because Blizzard has told us that they have plans for the next 10 years of WoW already planned out, right? They already have it planned out, ready to go. That's at least 5 expansions, okay? If they're actually, no, that might be the cadence we're seeing now is like 10 expansions. By the way, it's crazy. It's actually pretty crazy. Or let's just say 5, right?
We're on 11 right now, and I think they had it planned out to 17.
Yeah, right. So that's 6 more expansions, okay?
Roughly,
that's 6 more land masses that they have to squash into the world. I don't see them not going to the other side of Azeroth or off-world. And again, I think WoW is weaker off-world, just for that. It's not connected to Azeroth.
Right.
Boots on the ground, basically, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Off-world kind of leans more to that StarCraft theory, though.
I'm just keeping it a buck. As much as we don't like it,
I know, but
it's there.
Yeah.
So in Midnight, do you think we get a new playable race?
Yes.
Yeah, I think you could see either.
I think we get
people
ethereals.
from Koresh. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. We get ethereals
or brokers.
We get Tuskar. We'll be good with that too.
I'm honestly the new trolls. I forget the name of them. The new trolls, like the ones that are connected to the rootlands, that we saw in Ashgahet, that they introduced us to the zone. I think we're gonna get them as a playable race. There's actually been a lot of theories about it. Let's talk about it for a second, actually. So a lot of people are concerned that they've cut content. So obviously, I forget the name of the race that they're called, but they're those like nature trolls, right? And you guys know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah, so like a lot of people were like, oh, they cut content. Like she was kind of in 11.1, and then all of a sudden she's gone. But I think people are failing to realize, again, we're inside of a World Soul Saga, right? A trilogy, right? Where this story is going to be with 3 expansions. We're so used to having 1 expansion, all the storylines are ended at the end. Now we're gonna have a lot of open-ended stuff, aka these nature trolls. I think eventually, maybe not in Midnight, we'll probably see ethereals. I'd love to have ethereals because you can have a lot of customization with that. But eventually, I think we're gonna see the nature trolls be customizable race too, because I was hoping for already an allied race already, but it's not gonna happen though.
But didn't they also say they're going to have something playable from Midnight at Gamescom? Sure.
Yeah, they're like all the content creators will have something playable. Yeah.
And
also, that's coming up soon.
That's next week. No, week after next. I'm sorry.
The 19th.
The 19th. Yeah, that's week after next.
Yeah.
And then, so we got to look at it from that standpoint too, as well. You're going to probably get it. Like, we haven't seen Anduin at all.
Yeah.
Not since 11.1 content.
Right. We haven't seen him. You haven't seen Jaina.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of pieces. Thrall. You haven't seen none of the 11 oath people who started everything. You've been seeing everybody else but them, because what's her name did show up in 11.1. The troll chick, she showed up.
Yeah.
You still have the trolls that's from there too as well. Not trolls, the goblins. So are we just going to discard everything that we did in there when we get to Midnight? Or they're not going to have a part?
I feel like they're gonna have a part. I mean, I feel like the Rootlands again is something that I feel like could be its own expansion, but I feel like it's gonna be like a patch where maybe in Midnight we go to the Rootlands. Because again, the Rootlands are the things that are like the zone that connects Ajkahet to the World Soul. So, I think again, correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's the right theory there, but I
think
think
we
eventually
revisit that in Last Titan is where I think it comes in.
yeah, maybe. Yeah, again, I feel like we're gonna revisit. I think we're obviously still gonna have a, because I think even though we're gonna have like this giant like 3-part episode, right? We still need to have like some breadcrumbs in Midnight, like connecting back to the like War Within, right?
Yeah.
And
Yep.
it would be really cool if like we could go back to the War Within zones, like eventually, you know.
The other thing that
see
we're
the
forgetting
changes.
is that this is the Midnight is actually Chris's first full expansion back as like the storyteller
The guy.
Yeah. So and
War Within he had like partial writing.
but not like a whole lot. And you can kind of see
had
with
his
War
hand.
Within it was kind of thrown in.
He had his hand in 11.2 for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But not 0.1 in the release.
I think that what he did in the release and has had his hand in with the other patches is more of, hey, you need to tie up these loose ends. You need to tie up these loose ends. And then in 11.2, we're going to tie up some more loose ends to try to make the story back to being cohesive. Because it's just fractured after Legion.
Yeah. Like I think there was an interview with him saying like when he got back on the team, they had plans of just doing a single expansion. So he's like, no, we're gonna do a World Soul Saga. We're not gonna condense things into one expansion. We're gonna expand it out, and it's so far working. I mean, the War Within's a good expansion. Like we have these overarching villains. We have like these questions that we're asking, and it's good that we're having this type of conversations too, because it's like, you know, what's going to be happening, especially with the Last Titan. Like the Last Titan I mean, if you think of like Midnight, like you think of like the Doomsday Clock. Obviously, if the Doomsday Clock ever gets to midnight, that means it's like basically the end of the world, right? They update that every year. So I think Midnight to be like the Doomsday, like the Void's coming. We're gonna probably deal with the Void, and then the Last Titan. That's the one I really want to see. Is like, okay, how do we deal with the World Soul being birth, and how do we not die in the process?
The other thing that we need to talk about though with that Last Titan and that World Soul is what kind of Titan is it going to be? How many evil things have touched that World Soul, and how many, good things have touched that World Soul? What kind of World Soul it's really going to be?
Yeah, that's the reason. That's the reason why we can't like fully get rid of the old gods, is because the amount of power and destruction it was to fully get rid of the old gods' corruption would kill the last the world soul. So it's like that corruption of the old gods, the void, right? Like it makes me think of like obviously they're trying to corrupt this basically like a chicken inside of an egg here. And maybe they can't. Maybe the world soul is just so pure that they can't, but they are trying eventually. Like obviously the void has shown that they can do it. So obviously we've seen with Koresh, right? I mean, technically Dimensius never destroyed Koresh. It was the their own people that did it. But spoiler alert, by the way, I guess. But it's out, I guess, but whatever. And so the Void could do it with that much power. I mean, Dimensius is, pretty powerful. So, is it? I don't know. That's probably why the last Titans put up all the Titan facilities too. To make sure that it was made to be protected.
Yeah. I really think that we're gonna get ethereals for Midnight, just because it seems to fit the expansion, just like the Earthens fit this expansion.
Oh wait, what am I saying? We did get the Earthen. Gee whiz, my bad.
Yeah, we got the Earthens for this one.
Why did I forget about the Earthen?
Because they weren't well received. They were not the best. They were not the best received ones.
They do have a cool, like they do have that cool thing where they get a more XP discovering areas. I think that fits in their lore. I think I like that actually. But yeah, I totally forgot about them. I don't know. Gee whiz.
I mean, well, up until BFA, we didn't have anything else besides pandas that had came out. Realistically, you had pandas and goblins, but in BFA, we had an explosion of playable races come out.
That is true. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think you're right. Yeah, because before it was Legion.
Yeah, I mean, but what playable race came out in Legion?
I guess you could say like.
It wasn't a race. It was just the class. That was it.
Class.
Yeah, that was
it. Wasn't no race.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we had goblins come out in one expansion, and we had pandas come out in Mist of Pandaria. So,
That's true.
Well, you had the Draenei. You had the Draenei come out. You also had you had the the other orcs. Those came out.
That was
the Maghar orcs.
That was in Warlords of Draenei, but there only seemed to be like one race per expansion, and sometimes no new races, playable races per expansion. And then BFA, we got 4 all at once on both sides.
Yeah, it was like, hey, here's some stuff. I think at that point, at that point, they're probably like, oh, geez, we don't have like. I think they saw the writing on the wall, like from like look at BFA to the Shadowlands. They knew
with classes, with races. I don't think they want to keep getting. I understand we as consumers and players want more races. I get it, but I think because of where their story is driven, that you have races, but you want to keep those races as enemies and all of the other things as well.
See, I was kind of thinking along the lines of adding new race, a new class, but also a new faction. Not alliance, not horde, a new faction, a third faction to World of Warcraft.
Why not a neutral? If you did that, why not a neutral faction?
The way that I went about it was that I was going to call it the Covenant of the Equinox. They were just going to be a neutral. They never have. They don't fight. That's not their thing, right? They're not sword. They're not a shield or anything. They're a scale. Like they're all about balance, just in balance. Their whole purpose is to keep Azeroth in balance, and we've disrupted it.
I'm always for that, honestly. Like
right?
It would be
so.
Like, it would be
so
cool
I think the race would be my brain seeing it as like they're almost like when Draenor fractured. They kind of disappeared into like a different realm, whatever the case is. Everything that's going on right now forced their hand. They have to come back.
Mm-hmm.
So I even thought that like the classes were actually going to be hardbound to the spec. So like it was going to be like you're just this character, this Draenor kind of like without the Squidward stuff, just a humanoid Draenor without all this squid stuff. You know what I mean? Just a very weird, what you would call a higher being of Draenei, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And then just have it as a tank spec, a DPS spec, and a healing spec. They would all relatively look the same because they are all the same purpose, but they would just have a different role.
That could even connect to like like the other side of Azeroth too. Like like there was some rumors that before the War Within was announced and all this World's Saga was announced that we were going to the other side of Azeroth, right? And think about it, the other side of Azeroth is totally isolated from our side. They probably have big factions over there, right? And like different cultures and all that stuff. And it could be totally foreign. So even it's the same planet, it could be different. It could be totally foreign from what we know and expect from content on this side of Azeroth too.
That's an idea.
Right.
You instead of having the Horde or the Alliance, you get the faction from the other side. That's
Covenant, this weird covenant that's there, and that would be your kind of world-breaking thing. Is that this would affect everything, right down to Battlegrounds, because now you have a third faction in Battlegrounds, so they would just be there to disrupt the battlefield. Like you want to capture that flag, sorry, we're holding it. Like you want to play King of the Hills, sorry, we're holding it. Like they would just be there to like. I don't know if their role would be to outpoint or to just like run the clock. Like if they can, if there's no decision made, then neutrality wins. You know what I mean? Like they did enough to stop the game. So I don't know.
So the question then becomes, what were they doing during all of these world-ending events? Like, I don't know, Cataclysm.
It didn't affect their side of the world.
It didn't
so
necessarily affect Azeroth directly. Its imminent destruction will be this World Stone, will be this Titan, right? They will not be able to survive it. That's the one thing that they would just be like, nope, you done screwed up. Now we have to get involved. You guys are like children on the playground. You just now you've hurt yourselves too much. Now we have to come in, and now supervision is required. And they might even have an answer for all of this. Like, hey, at least we can get you to bounce over here for a bit. Let this all happen. We'll time skip you guys back a little bit. You go back, fix your problems. And then if we're not needed anymore, we'll bounce.
I like that idea. Yeah.
Right. So then you could even have an expansion of like, not peace per se, but then it would be like the disappearance almost, or like the assimilation of them coming to Azeroth. Like now they're actually like maybe like a Pandaren. Now you can actually choose a side to like not fight for. You know what I mean?
Could you imagine though if they played a whole, like, instead of when on your start screen and create screen you have Alliance, Horde, and then you have a whole new faction with a whole different set of characters?
Yep.
That would be interesting.
It would pull a lot of people back.
It would just like the fantasy, the amount of fantasy level that it brings to the game is like, because like nowadays, like, yeah, when we go to new zones and a new expansion, we have like new creatures and stuff like that. Like, yeah, but like, and then the cultures are different, but we don't have like that huge like. Have we ever like seen an expansion and like, yeah, we're all excited for it and we're all pumped for it, but like, have we ever had an expansion in the last couple, like when I remember when Cataclysm came out, when it showed the cinematic of Deathwing destroying all the lovely points of interest that we know and love, that moment was like, oh my gosh, like that's crazy.
Right.
Like he's destroying the world. Have we had that moment like at all since then? Like,
I mean,
we've had the moments of like, oh, that's cool. It's like, well, oh,
technically we did, and it was with your worst expansion, which I will not call its name out right now.
okay, no, yeah, you're right. You're right. No, you're right. Yeah, Shadowlands
was basically when she did this.
Yeah,
it literally fractured the world. So I mean,
to be fair, Shadowlands intro, like her like shattering the helmet and then the sky shattering above it, was probably one of the most hype expansion announcements. Probably, I mean, if we knew what we would have gotten into, maybe not, but
I think it changed.
Right. Yeah,
I actually think it changed. I think where they was
abandoned
going,
it.
Yeah, I think they changed something because that was not what that was not what I perceived when she did that.
Yeah.
At first, the first time you see the cinematic, you think she's finna put the helmet on.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Everybody thought that because she's finna put this helmet on. No, she tears the helmet to pieces, and the sky opens up like, I don't know, the second coming. I didn't even know how to describe. I didn't even know how to describe it at that time.
It was chaos.
And so when they did that, and then when they made the next video, and you seen him, whatever his name is, can't remember, standing there at that little one gate, in some armor or whatever. I'm like, wait a minute, who is this? This is not what I signed up for. So I do believe they did change something.
Yeah.
From the time they put that video out. Because I mean, of course, they put their trailers out 6 months, maybe to a year ahead of time. So you have that hype, you build that hype up. That's one thing they're good at doing. So I just felt like they changed something with that. But
another thing with that is that event would have, to me, because it broke the whole cycle of death. That should have been something that would have caused the other side to say or do something.
No, and you're right. You're absolutely right, because it did break the cycle of death. But you still only saw the regular races that we saw outside of the ethereals. You didn't see anything new, really, if you think about it. You didn't see any other races. Like, you could have because you have to, like, as we say, we know each covenant had their own zone. You didn't have any of those type of characters. If they wanted to make more characters, that's where they had the opportunity to make more playable races. Right there.
Yeah.
You had the Venthyr, you had, I forgot what the angel was, what they called themselves. I can't think of their names right now. the Kyrian,
the Necro Lords, and then the Necro Lords, are they called? And then
Necro Lords.
And then we had the cute little butterfly people. What are they called? Ardenweald, right? What are they called?
Ardenweald. So you had the opportunity there if you wanted to add more races. Because they had warriors of all kinds, they had mages, they had them all. So you could have technically, if you wanted to add more races, you had the opportunity there. You had the opportunity. You had the opportunity now with 11.2 to make ethereals playable, but instead, so they've always had opportunities to add playable races to the game. I just
focus a whole expansion around it, right?
Yeah, you could. Koresh could have been a whole expansion by itself.
That's true.
To be honest, if
but
you look
I'm
at
glad
just
it's not though, because
the scale
again, off-world expansions for me.
Well,
anyway.
It's not really off-world because you have to think about how it's been part of the lore of Azeroth.
True.
Too as well. So it's part of what Azeroth is to a certain extent.
Mm-hmm.
So it would that I don't consider that off-world. Now Outlands off-world completely. Yeah. Argus
Warlords of
off-world.
Dranmau.
Yeah. Argus off-world.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So those you can, because we had to take a ship to get there. So let's be clear, it's off-world. Mm-hmm. We had to go through a portal to go to another world. So that's considered off-world to me. Now this is like, pocket dimension that's connected to Azeroth because of what happened.
I can see that connection.
I mean, technically the Titans are also off-world.
Yeah.
That we know of.
I mean, we know the last time is going to take place in the revamped Northrend, right? Northrend. So like, because what was announced at least. But I mean, I guess things can change. But like again, like, are we going towards this thing where these zones there's no new zones anymore? It's just revamped of old zones. Because I mean,
I know that. This is why I say that that Azeroth is not flat. There is something on the other side that we are going to have to deal with, one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be.
I'm just like curious on what we're gonna do eventually with it, because again, like obviously from Midnight to Last Titan, that makes sense. But like again, that's why we're talking about this. Is like, I've seen some fan theories about the other side of Azeroth. I saw theories of like resetting us totally. And I mean, I know Blizzard will figure it out because again, this is their cash cow. But like, I guess, I mean, if you think about it, The Last Titan might be the final wrap up of the main story of like, because then like this will allow them to do is that The Last Titan passes, right? And then at that point we'll be level 100 again, right? Because Midnight's going to bring us to 90, and then The Last Titan's going to bring us to 100, right? And then we might. And that's the perfect. Yeah, I don't think they're going to go over 100 again. Honestly, like I think what's going to happen is they're going to probably squish us again. But like, it's again a band-aid on an open wound. So it's like I hope that they just again the world gets destroyed somehow, or we get thrown into some like the Titans are so mad at us that we thwarted their plans that they threw us into interdimensions of space for like 300 years. And then somehow we broke back, and then the Titans have, enslaved all of Azeroth or something like that, and like whatever it may be, and then we come back and have to, rediscover Azeroth and whatever the changes are. That's my like grand like theory that I'm like hoping to be the most probable for me.
You know what else we can go back to since we're talking about things we like to see and change. Can hunters get ammo back? Can they get a separate ammo bag again?
Yeah, can we make this more of an RPG again?
I just really want to be clear. Can I get my arrow quiver on the back with different types of arrows I can use?
Yeah, can I be in the middle of the encounter and be like, wait a minute, I didn't buy ammo, and then all of a sudden not be useful at all? Like,
you don't need it. You don't need it. You don't. Warriors just use weapons for show. You don't need a gun or a bow.
Yeah.
You don't. I remember times where a warrior wants to roll on a ranged weapon. I'm like, why? What are you gonna do?
We lost Siege, by the way.
So
Siege
no,
of
he
Lich
said
so
he said he's booting back up. He said his computer crashed completely out of nowhere.
Oh, okay.
So, but no, I
that's
want to get
nice.
back to those things that make WoW, exactly what it was. Hunters had a quiver. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which was cool because if you had a quiver or a gun pouch, depending on what you was using,
Uh-huh.
you had different. I remember when they had it where you had different type. You had explosive ammo, you had poison ammo, you had all kinds of different things that you could do. Just for your kit. That was a time when survival didn't exist the way it does now.
Yeah.
So I'm just looking at ways you can revamp some of these classes. Like paladins need some new spells. I'm tired of consecrating and final verdict and all of that. We need something new. You never give us. I feel like going into midnight, it's cool that we have the abilities that we have, but I want to give me something new that I haven't seen as an ability. I like the hero talents, but I feel like there's not enough to it. People say there's button bloat, and so what? I don't care. I like pressing buttons. That's the purpose of a keyboard and a mouse. Click, 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 click.
So
If
I
you're
have
a
a
clicker.
thought with the paladins. So if any of y'all are 5th edition D&D players or D&D players in general, paladins in D&D have all the same skills, but for paladins they can take different oaths. So there's like an oath of vengeance, which would have its own set of specialized skills, an oath of glory, an oath of honor, and depending on that depends on what skills and abilities your character would get. So it's like
I like
not
that.
classes,
Yeah.
not even really a subclass, but it's like a subclass of a subclass type thing. You can specialize.
I got it. I like that. That's what I'm talking about. Bringing back that flair of something that you haven't seen before in this game.
Yeah.
Like for instance, I don't know, mages could have outside of ice block and have different other things they can do. And, I mean, yeah, it's cool that you have fire, ice, and arcane trees, but you're so used to the same thing over and over and over. It's time for something new.
Can we get a lightning mage, please?
Well, that's a
Lightning
shaman.
mage.
That's a shaman.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
That's a
Sure,
shaman.
I guess.
Shaman.
But technically,
Shaman is a
fire
lightning
and
mage.
fire and ice are shaman-ish abilities too.
That's
It's a
true.
matter. It's a matter of where so between a shaman and a mage, it's a matter of where the magic comes from. The magic for a shaman is supposed to be centered around nature and pulling it from nature. The magic for mage is supposed to be more arcane based, like from the realm of magic. So I think that they could both have similar abilities, but I think you could have a lightning mage that would be way different than your shaman would be.
No, you're right. But again, though, the other difference between a mage and a shaman is male armor.
True.
We don't die. We don't die as fast. We can take a hit. We can take a hit or two, maybe three, depending on what we're fighting. But no, that would make a good tank class though too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
An enhancement shaman would make a great tank. You
Yeah,
just
I
have
can see
to.
that.
You just have to figure out these. And the hardest part about doing that, because it took me all week to figure this whole thing out with me turning a survival hunter into a tank. And what makes it best is because of the fact that you can almost treat it like Beastmaster as a spec as well, because you need your pet to tank. You can't do it without it. So that's why I love the ideal of that, of turning, like someone said, taking some of these classes and kind of flipping them on their head for down the road and it'll give you something new. Why not have a battle mage that's a tank / mage? He can imbue his sword with, the smart part of the warrior part of him, can imbue his sword with lightning or fire or whatever for himself, almost in a sense.
And I know I said this before, but again, Season Discovery, they started playing with these ideas, right? So Season Discovery could have been a test bed for retail. We don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I know yeah, true.
So
I've seen people
WoW's
play it.
original origins come from Dungeons and Dragons.
Right.
We all know that, right? We all know that a lot of what WoW started off as came from first edition D&D and stuff like that. Now it had its own spin on it and stuff, but I think that they could look at what D&D has done in like 5th edition and maybe revamp it a little bit, because I mean D&D 1 is a open license thing, so you can use it for whatever you want. That's neither here nor there. But they have things like blade warlocks that imbue their weapons and fight with swords instead of fighting with just straight magic. You know, they have wizards versus sorcerers, which are all what we consider a mage category.
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah. So, but wizards can learn new spells just by picking up a scroll and reading it if they have an available like spell slot in their book type thing. So there's a lot of things that they could take from that and be like, hey, yeah, we could do that. You know, they have the new like troll race that is you know, kind of druidic, but right now we have the boomkin. We have the warrior, you know, the bear, and we have a melee DPS, and we have the healer, which is kind of like a tree type healer. But in 5th edition D&D, there's also like a fire druid that summons phoenixes. There's
that would make sense in lore too, right?
Yeah. There's a nature one called like a fungus druid that does a lot of stuff with like different like funguses and mushrooms and stuff like that, creating potions and mists and poison sprays and stuff like that. That could be something, it'd be different from what we're already doing, but bringing in some, I mean, more flavor into the classes and going back to some customizable nature of the classes. Like, I don't know. I used to love the fact in Wrath that I could talent into blood as my main DK
and still use Frost or Unholy
and
for certain things.
Still put enough points into Frost to get that Icebound Fortitude or that extra stamina or, you know, whatever to make you just a little bit more tanky. Or when I played my Hunter, I could fully spec into Beastmaster but go down enough in Marksman to get True Shot aura, so I wasn't, you know, just letting my pet do that. Thanks, Scarlett, for having us pulled up. I appreciate it.
I think that's what's missing now. WoW is still a great game. I've been playing, and I don't think I'm gonna ever stop playing. But there's always going to be some things that we see as players, because, like I say, I have friends that are developers on other platforms, that's on, you know, PlayStations and so, you know, some other stuff. But I feel like we don't give them the respect that they deserve to as well, because they have a hard job. They have to please us, and it's hard to please people that have high expectations.
Yeah,
I'm not even gonna lie. I live in one of those worlds where, hey, if you don't meet my expectations, you're not getting my money. And every 2 years, WoW has always done what it's done. It's wowed me. It's gave me great storytelling. But I'm a critic too, just like the rest of everybody else is.
You have to be, yeah.
Well, and I think also they've set up some good systems too, because I know part of the biggest reason that they took some of that customizability out and stuff like that was to make it easier for newer players. But I think they have some good setup systems. Like in your talent tree, you can go to like the pre-built guide and it'll build your talent tree for you. Or, you know, you could use like a standardized spec, or you could switch it to a customized spec. That would be something that they could give you the option to do.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it's gotten a little bit too much of the min-max for me.
Yeah.
And min-max and meta, you are absolutely right. They need to figure out a way to curve that, because, again, it's not fair for somebody who plays, like for me doing keys on my Hunter is kind of hard at times because I play survival. I can play Beast Mastery, but I enjoy the spec that I enjoy.
Right.
So I make a lot of my own groups, or I'm running with you guys or the guild or whatever's going on. But it's hard, and I feel like we're being penalized because we're not playing those classes that everybody's playing. Sometimes you just want to be different.
Yeah, I
Like,
think the like players are like water. They're gonna find the path of least resistance. Like obviously they're gonna be chasing the metas and the stuff like that. I think honestly, like no matter what the developers do, or even we just change the culture around metas, I don't think we'll fully get rid of them. Even if like all classes were perfectly balanced, but there was obviously like a 0.01%, difference between specs, people would be like, well, I want the hunter because it has that much more power, right? And it'll always be, you know, and I think there was a talk about player power, and it's like no matter how perfectly balanced your classes are, your specs are, people are going to see the charts of like where your DPS sits, and no matter how like close those bars are, if your class is at the bottom, you're complaining no matter what it is. It could be a 0.01% difference. You're going to complain no matter what because you're at the bottom and not the top. And I think it's just that's what happens, unfortunately.
I think
that's something that's got to change. That's something that has to change for this game to stay till 2030. Not only do they have to change that, right? We know midnight's coming. We know we're getting player housing. What else are they going to give us to push us over the top? Because you got to think about it. It's 25 now. Midnight is going to take us to what, 27, 28, supposedly. You still, based on the time frame.
Oh yeah.
Midnight's going to take us to 27, 28, depending on when it's released. So that means Last Titan is going to take us to 2030.
Well, they are doing faster. They are doing faster cadence. Because remember,
right?
It's just been a year since they announced this trilogy. By the way, like almost like maybe a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Like,
so we're pushing. They're pushing because they know that they do have to get this whole trilogy done for older people that's still playing, and bring along new people at the same time.
Yeah.
So we're looking. Midnight has to have something else just besides player housing. It's got to be something else there, which hopefully we'll see sooner or later. But we know about player housing. We've been begging for it for years, since WildStar and all those other RPGs that were out. Yeah, I dabbled in other things outside of this. So,
like this expansion released on August 26th of last year. This expansion hasn't even been out a year yet, and we're already on the final patch, the major patch, and we already are gonna have a reveal here. So we're gonna have a reveal of the next expansion sub 1 year of this expansion. So that's
usually
crazy.
it's 2 years.
Usually it's 2 years. Yeah, so we're probably gonna see a release of Midnight. Probably, I don't know. I want to say November.
I say November, December, January.
Yeah.
Somewhere in between that time frame. But here's the problem with a December release. You run into Christmas, you run into New Year's. So it would, if they got this much work done, and this is, Corey, this is future proofing, of course, when we talk about it, because if they're showing what they're showing at Gamescom in 2 weeks, that means maybe 80 to 90% of the game is already done.
Yeah.
I would see a January, February release would probably be best.
Yeah. Because you need 6 months of testing. You need at least 4 to 5 months of testing of alpha, beta. I'm pretty sure there's in-house alphas going on right now and all of that kind of stuff. But I do believe that, we're looking at an early 2026 release. And that's good, because if you get it out of the way now, you miss the whole GTA 6 thing. Because that's going to be a problem for everybody. I don't care what game it is, what genre it is, what platform it's on. If your game is not out before GTA 6 come out, you're in trouble.
Also, the War Within beta was only 2 months and 3 weeks. So, just saying. I mean, they said
you're right. And if you're talking about 2 months, 3 weeks. So say right now, looking at the calendar, it's August. They do the whatchamacallit at Gamescom in a couple weeks. Beta will be out in September.
Yeah.
By the end of September. If they're looking for a November, December release, November, December, January release, beta be out in September. Have to be if that's what you're pushing.
Yeah, I mean,
or
they could have a
right
cadence.
or right after Gamescom.
Yeah,
like before the end of August.
Yeah,
if that's what you're trying to push.
Because like I think because if you look, I think the War Within pre-patch, like I think it was a month before. So the pre-patch for War Within dropped July 30th, right? And that was about a less than a month away from the launch of the expansion. So we would have to see the pre-patch drop if it's a December launch in November, or if it's a January, February, at least in December.
The pre-patch in December.
Yeah.
Because that way you don't have that Christmas break time in between. If you have pre-patch in December.
And that's probably when we're gonna get player housing early access too. Like imagine like, hey, here's the pre-patch. You've already bought the Epic Edition because you're simps, and you're gonna get housing too, right? And yeah, because like think about it, everyone's on vacation, right? You know, they're home from school or whatever,
home for holidays,
and they're like, here's early access to housing. Go buck wild, buddies. Because I don't see them releasing housing the minute midnight launches. Because think about this, right? Obviously, it's already been proven that they're going to release it. Because not only that, because like you're gonna have people wanting to get to max level, but you're also gonna have people wanting to just build a house. It's like you obviously want to give them time to build their house and then explore the content. Because again, that concept of too much content, having 10 new levels to launch. Well, it might be another 5, who knows? But statistically, it's 10 levels, item levels to get, new season, and then housing on top of that. I would be bogged down. So early access will probably come during pre-patch, or maybe even before it. It would be cool. I mean, I did say in one of my tweets that I made out, I was like, it would be really cool if like at Gamescom, like, hey guys, so housing's coming soon, and here's all the things, and if you get if you don't get just the base edition, you get early access to housing. And by the way, early access to housing starts today. Like shadow drop it. Like imagine if they shadow dropped housing. Are you kidding me?
They'll have my $90 for sure.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would be like, sorry, wife, for spending $90 today with tax. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I just feel like they're going to pull a good string at Gamescom.
Yeah,
I think so.
I want to see that opening cinematic. That's what I'm looking forward to, because they did release the art for the when they announced that they're at Gamescom, they did announce that they showed off this art where it showed a bunch of giant void entities coming out of a portal, and behind it looks a lot like Silvermoon. So imagine if the intro cinematic of just like it just shows Silvermoon, right, all updated, right, everyone's peacefully doing whatever they do in Silvermoon, and all of a sudden this giant portal rips open and void creatures come in, start corrupting everything. Chef's kiss, please.
I got you beat, because think about it. Raid comes out next week, correct?
Yes. Yep.
Tuesday.
Yeah. Less than a week.
The 12th.
Gamescom is the following Tuesday, if I'm correct.
Let's see here. Let's
the 19th, correct?
Yeah, the 19th. Yep. So yeah. A week after.
So guess what happens?
Oh my!
Raid is cleared next week.
Yeah.
You have the ending cinematic.
Mm-hmm.
The following week, you have the intro into Midnight. They set that up on purpose.
Oh, for sure. I mean, they can't reveal. Yeah.
That is so ingenious, though, when you really think about it. This has never happened. You can go back and look.
Yeah.
They usually wait a while. You literally basically giving us the ending cinematic to the expansion, and soon as you do that, the following week, all of a sudden we have the intro cinematic for the next expansion.
The launch cadence on this is nuts, because again, like we usually had to wait like a couple of months to even learn about what would be happening.
We're literally getting what's happening the week after we beat the raid. If we beat the raid the first week.
Well, I mean, they're going to do normal, right? So obviously the main storyline will be completed in normal, right?
Right.
So
Well, you get the last 2 chapters of the storyline next week. So you get the last 2 chapters in the epilogue.
Yeah, and I won't spoil anything, but if you played the dungeon, technically
you
already know
the end.
Yeah, because again, in this expansion, I mean, in this tier, they changed something up. Normally, it goes the main storyline like in the open world, and then it goes the dungeon, and then it goes the raid. Well, this time, guys, it goes open world content, the raid, then the dungeon.
In the dungeon.
Yes. So, no spoilers though, because obviously that's pretty much a pretty big spoiler. Because I played through and
Necro, you've been through it yet?
No, I haven't done that one yet. I need to.
Okay, we're gonna keep our lips shut.
We're gonna be quiet then. But if you know what I know, it's.
Look at my face right now, Necro.
I'm looking.
It's Inception type level stuff goes on.
It's crazy.
For real, it does.
It's crazy.
So that I think that's.
I think that brings us to an end of our time. But we didn't touch on some things, so there are going to be some further conversations in later on, because we also didn't touch on the state of PvP and where PvP is going. So we'll save that for another next podcast.
In the dumpster.
No, it does not go in the dumpster. It has a place. You just have to find it.
I also would like to point out that you talked about spending those $90 and your wife said wrong. Not going to happen. I'm just saying.
I might have to roll for, persuasion.
No, you just have to do some extra chores around the house. You'll be okay.
Rubber feet or something.
The husband, the honey-do list is what we call it these days. You take care of the honey-do list, and I'm pretty sure them $90 will come flying out the pocket. I know it works. I know it works for me. It works for me. So
she said, "Buy me tacos, we will talk." Okay, easy enough.
Oh, you got it easy then.
Yeah,
she said tacos. Hey, that's easy.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, that works.
It does.
We will call it a day there, and I think our next podcast we're going to do another tier list. I believe is what we talked about.
Yeah.
We don't know exactly what it'll be, but it'll be definitely a tier list of controversial items, most likely.
Yeah. Another controversial item tier list. Let's get it done.
Oh yeah. I'm trying to think, what else do we have out there? Of course, a lot of us are going to start raiding next week, so we will definitely keep you posted, because I literally raid with y'all and my main guild, so I enjoy my life very much. So
life is good.
I love the one thing about me. I love raids. I'll go back and do old raids anytime, any day of the week. So it's just something about them that the teamwork. Can't say camaraderie, because some of us just don't like each other when we're in raids.
Sometimes it'd be like that.
We just can't seem to get along in a raid. But when we're not in a raid, we're best of friends. So it is what it is. But it's fun. I have a love-hate relationship with my guild leader, so it is what it is.
Yeah, so
he knows.
This next season, I think we're going to, since the Spotters is my main guild, I don't have a other guild, so that's the only one I raid with, and I will most likely be putting a lot of effort into getting us to heroic and AOTC this time around.
Oh, we'll get there. We'll have enough talent. I'm pretty sure we will.
Oh yeah.
We just gotta get more people to come in and show up. That's it. We just need more people on.
Yeah. Sure.
You hear that, chat? Get on.
Come play with us.
Do your delves.
Come and join us.
And be cool. Think about this. How cool would it be? Okay. If you're at Thanksgiving and your parents or your uncles that you never see just once a year, they're like, "Hey, what have you been up to?" And you say, "My item level is 712," and they'll have no idea what you're talking about, but you'll know in your head that you're cooler than them. Yeah, exactly.
You'll feel good saying it.
Make them
absolutely
confuse your uncles and aunts at Thanksgiving. Okay.
All right, guys. Well, until next time.
Till next time, we will see you later. It's
See
been
you
fun.
later.
Don't forget, go outside and touch grass.
I mean, I guess so. I mean, this grass in World of Warcraft. Do that instead.
That's true too. Yeah, and Mythic Plus starts next week as well. So just gonna point that out.
Yeah. Well, if that's the case, go touch grass tonight or tomorrow.
There you go. That
Before
works.
Tuesday. Before
Tuesday.
Yeah.
And
Bye-bye.
in 2 weeks, you'll have another episode. Catch you
All
then.
right, y'all.